Welcome and good afternoon, everyone. Member 365 webinar. This afternoon we'll be discussing about surveys versus voting. What is the difference and how do you use them? My name is Carlo McDangle. I'm your host in this webinar. I'm a customer success coach here in Member 365. Just a few housekeeping items. Your videos and microphones will be muted, but don't worry. During the course of the webinar, you can write in any questions that you may have, and we'll be addressing them later in our Q&A session. And we will be recording this webinar as well, so we'll be posting it on the help section, and we will be sending you a link to the video. So what to expect in this webinar? Our agenda. We will be discussing the difference between surveys and votes. And then how do we create an effective survey and vote? The setup process, basically. And once a survey and vote is up, how are we inviting our contacts? How do we invite our contacts? And once the contacts have been invited and took the survey, now how to view and analyze the responses. What are the best practices in setting up the survey? And last but not the least, our question and answer section. So being able to collect information quickly and easily is very important for any membership-based organization, and an effective interface for building and distributing form is the best way to do so. Fortunately, your program, Member 365, includes a wide variety of ways to create forms and even more ways to use the information you collect with them. And one of the forms, very important, integral part of any membership, is a survey and a vote form. But first off, what is a survey? Well, a survey gathers information from a set of people with the purpose of generalizing the results to a larger population. Surveys provide a significant source of data and insights from your members or even non-members. And once you've decided what questions you're going to ask of your contacts and members, you'll want to make sure that your survey is working properly. And afterward, you'll want to analyze the results, of course. Now, on the other hand, what is a vote? Well, a vote is a method that you will use, which is much more formal when you wish to get input or information from your contacts or members. And voting has specific rules and procedures to determine a specific outcome. As an example, if your organization is looking to elect, like say, a president, you won't use a survey for this instance. You want the answers, of course, to remain, yes, anonymous. Now, what's the difference between a survey and a vote? Well, setting up a vote is basically the same as the survey setup. Identical. Now, the difference lies on the vote results or the reports. So yes, we mentioned a while ago, votes are anonymous. So you won't be seeing those who casted their votes, and we will be showing later on how the reports looks like. The reports on a survey and the reports on a vote. So let's dive in now on how to set up a survey. So let's go to the program. If you have it in your system. Okay, on the main dashboard, we go to modules, and then we go to surveys and votes, and basically hit create new. The system will bring us to this page, choosing between a survey or a vote. Click the create button. But in this webinar, we will be pulling up or reviewing a specific survey that I already created. So we go to the same section, module, surveys and votes, and click manage. The system will display all the surveys and votes that we created so far. So let's pull up the very first one, membership benefits. And we will be presented with 7 setup tabs. The very first one being is the one where we will be naming our survey. So we write the title of the survey. We assign a category on it. We can create as many categories as we want or subcategories. It's a fine way of organizing our surveys and votes, especially if you have multiple surveys and votes in your program. Then the second is the configuration section. Do we want to lock the form or not? Why is that important? Well, mainly because we don't want the form to be accidentally deleted by a fellow admin. And do we want to show the form and answers? Oh, sorry, we want to show the form questions and answers in the member portal, the reports. Do we want it hidden or not hidden? Again, you can either turn this on and off. Just a quick tip. If you see a radio button with a question mark inside it, all you have to do is hover it and you'll be presented with tips and instructions with regards to that functionality or tool. You'll see it across all the tabs, not only in this particular module, but across all modules of Member 365. And then open and close dates, very important. You want to put in when this survey or vote will become active or when it expires. And then we have the publish button here. Very important that whenever we're done setting up all the tabs of the setups, very important that we hit published to save the change and at the same time publish the survey. Something to note when creating a new survey or a vote, you will see a save draft button here. This is where you can save the survey or vote when you're not yet ready to publish it. This survey was already published, that's why we don't see the save draft button anymore. Second tab will be the messages tab. So this is the section where you can set up the messages that are displayed in the member portal when contacts access the survey. The first section is the instructions section, where you want to convey some special instructions on how or why they need to take on the survey. The second one is basically thanking them for taking the survey and what to expect from the membership for taking the survey. And the second tab is the question and answers setup tab. This is actually the meat of the survey form. This will be the section where you plot your survey questions. We'll click Launch Form Editor button. And we are presented with this reminder, mainly because we've already, I already set up this survey. It says this form is currently published and in use. Any adjustments or deletion you make will affect the data that you already have collected using this form. So at any rate, if you already collected, set up a survey and you went in and add in some questions or delete questions or change some variety of details in the questions, it will impact the portal analytics or the reports or the results of the survey that are already in place. So just keep that in mind. But if you're creating a survey or a vote from scratch, this won't be shown. So in this case, we click I understand and I wish to continue. So there's a lot of options you may use, as you can see on the option bars at the top. It's typical in every form we have in Member 365, because on the forms you have the opportunity to collect the date from your members, a text or memo area for an elaborated response. You can collect email addresses. You can request them to upload a file. But for surveys and votes, clients normally choose the radio buttons, be it vertical or horizontal, or checkbox, or drop down single. So if we want to choose a specific style, we just need to grab it and then drag it on this page, just like what I did. Most clients use questions that require close-ended responses, what we call quantitative responses. That when presented with multiple choice answers will help them respond quicker. An example of those close-ended responses are this particular first question: which membership perks are important to you? So is it events, store tie-ups, trainings? Again, close-ended responses, easier to respond, right? However, you can always ask questions that require open-ended responses if you want to solicit a more in-depth response from your clients. Example is the third one that we've set up. Is there anything that we should do to make our membership have more value? So it gives your respondents more room and freedom to make an elaborate response, so to speak. So how do we set up the questions and the forms? So once you drag that correct question style on the screen, and it's already there. Click on the setup link here. And then on the left side, this is where we put our question. Type in our question. And do we want this question to be mandatory on the form? Just click yes or no. And then we type in the answer here in this field and click add answer, and it will populate this section here. Well, just in case if you have your list of answers already pasted like on a Word format or Notepad, you can paste them here as well. It makes your life easier if you had them already. Like for instance, on this particular question, like I want to add these three answer choices. We copy them and then just paste them in this pad. Just a reminder that each line item here represents a possible answer. And then just click go. And then there you go. They're pasted at the bottom of the list of answers here. Okay. So it's much easier. And then the properties tab, if we expand the properties tab, it will give us more control. We need to decide if, do we want to include this question in the list builder? Do we want to include this question in the form analytics in the CRM? Or do we want to include this question in the member portal form analytics? Or do we want to create a filter in the form analytics in the CRM? We'll be showing that later on. And once you've made your specific choices, click update, click save question, and click the save button here. That will save the question and answers that you've set up. So the third tab is the access tab. This is the section where you want to provide access to the survey of your contacts. And you can provide access based on membership categories. You can select everyone or just cherry pick a specific membership category. Or you can provide access based on organization and demographics, contact demographics, or you can just plainly cherry pick specific contacts. And you can also provide access based on a specific list of individuals that you probably already created in your list builder. All the lists that you created in your list builder will be populated here in this section. You'll just have to choose that list from this list of drop down here. In case you want to have your survey live in your public website, you can always share it in your public website through this public link here. You can either grab this public link URL or copy this script or this embed code and put it or set it up in your public website. But just a reminder that surveys taken on the public website will remain anonymous. The system will not show you who took the survey. Just something to keep in mind. Then the next tab will be the alerts and reminders tab. Do you want the member portal to give out alerts for contacts to take the survey? Then turn this toggle on and then enter the content of the alert message. Or do you want to send out invitation to those you granted access to the survey? Again, you can toggle this on and you can update the verbiage accordingly. Just make sure that you don't make changes on the smart tags. The smart tags are those words with the swirly bracket, mainly because these tags, they pull contact and survey information from the system. And there's a note as well here, very important, to remind ourselves to make sure we updated the access tab for contacts that are eligible to take the survey. Otherwise, if we are putting this on, this toggle on, and we have not populated or paid attention to the access tab, nothing will be sent out, of course. So something to keep in mind. And then the submission tab, basically thanking our contacts for taking the survey. And the email reminders, we can set up email reminders to your contacts, and you can set it up to be delivered on a X or determined number of days after the opening date of the survey or a vote. Again, an important note to remember, you have to have an open date. Otherwise, the email reminders will be sent based on the date when you publish the form. So just click on add reminder, or in this particular instance, we created it under an example of a reminder. Let's open it up. And I've set it up to be sent 1 day after subscription, meaning 1 day after the opening date. Again, if you don't have any opening date, the system will base it when? It'll base it on the date when we published the form. And again, don't forget to always click on the green button update to save all the changes you made on the tabs. Next one is the hours tab. If you have continuing education in your program or membership category, you can award hours for those who took the time, of course, in taking the survey and taking the vote. And last but not the least is access to portal and analytics. Those who have access to the surveys do not automatically have access to the reports or survey results. This last tab, feature control, will enable you to decide which contact can be given access to the survey results. So you can, again, assign access based on membership categories, organizational demographics, contact demographics, or cherry pick specific contacts. Now that you've set up the survey, you sent in the survey for your contacts. Now, how do you view the results? So we go to the same module and then click survey votes and then click survey results. And then we pull up the one that we were working on a while ago. And it will show us all the individuals who took the survey in the details tab. In this case, Christine and I took the survey, and we can view the results of the survey that each respondent took. And if you notice that this particular question is displayed here in this report, because if you recall on the property section of that question, we opted to have this question as a filter, right, in this report, so that we can bring up contacts who responded to any of these answers in that particular question. Next tab is a pending tab, displays anyone who has yet to take the survey. In this case, 3 individuals were sent the surveys and they have not taken the survey yet. Last one is the summary tab. It gives us a graphical representation, a snapshot of the survey responses. Now, for those in the pending category that has yet to take the survey, can we resend, aside from the reminders, can we resend the survey manually to them, reminding them to take the survey again? Yes, we can. So all we have to do is go to the modules and go to the survey itself, the list of surveys. And right at the end, that envelope icon there, we'll just have to click it to send an invite to contacts who have not responded to the survey. So that's how we set up a survey. Like we said a while ago, setting up a voting form is basically the same. The difference lies on the vote results or reports, and they are anonymous. If we go to an example of a vote form, results of the vote form, so give you an idea what it looks like. Let's pull up the second one. Voting time. As you can see, we can see the results of this vote, but the one who casted the vote is hidden, so it's anonymous. That's the only difference. So best practices. First, we need to keep our survey and vote simple and short. We need to use quantitative questions that are more direct and concise, just like the sample survey that we use on the first question, where solicited close-ended responses. Second, make your messaging enticing enough to encourage your contacts to go out, take the survey, or cast in their votes. Third one, make sure to toggle on the send invitation to contacts before publishing your survey or vote. Now, do we have any questions? I see one question here. It asks, can the respondents take the survey again? After they've completed survey, maybe, no, they can't. All surveys are final. And we have another question. Can admins edit the particular completed survey? Again, surveys are final. That is to maintain the integrity of the surveys. We have another question here. Is there a way to preview and test the survey before publishing it to the membership? Yes, there's a way to preview and test the survey before publishing it to the membership. And Christine can provide us some more insight on how we can accomplish that.
Hi, everyone. It's Chris, Customer Success Coach at Member 365 here. I'm just helping pros out with some questions today. So that is a great question. So you can set up the survey and only have it assigned to yourself, and then you can publish it and send the invite. You then can grant access to anyone else who you want to have access to the survey, and then you would have to then manually send the invite. So you can do that. That's one option. The other option is to test it out using the public link, just to see what the survey looks like. So you could do the invite option, which I just suggested, or you can use the public link just to see what it looks like when it's available. Does that help?
Thank you, Christine. Christine, by the way, is our Customer Success Manager in Member 365, and she is one of our panelists who is helping us on this webinar. Thanks, Christine.
You're welcome.
Okay. So we have another question. After you've tested it, is it possible to delete the test answers before publishing, or do you have to copy it and publish a clean version? Yes, you can delete the survey responses, particularly a test survey response or vote response. All you have to do is, again, go to the view result or the analytic page, and on the first tab where it shows you the list of survey responses, you can just check off that box of the name of the person that you want to delete the survey. Check off that box, and a delete button will appear, which you can click on to remove that particular test survey response. Well, so thank you for joining us today. So if you would like a one-on-one session and have premium support, you can schedule one with a success coach through your admin dashboard. And you can also have access to our knowledge-based articles and instructional videos, online chat between hours of 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. and from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Monday to Friday. And finally, you can always submit a ticket to ask questions or report any issues in the program. And please tune in again on our next webinar entitled Membership Wizard. Again, good afternoon, everyone, and have yourself a great day.